All right, just right quick. Out of 30 people, let's see, two. Y'all really suck. Y'all know that?
I haven't got my book yet.
Oh, I haven't got my book yet. My grandmother died, and I have 5 flat tires, and y'all suck. Okay, look at there. Okay, Mr. Cohan and David, you are doing really good. Okay, the rest of y'all suck. Now, actually, as long as you get it before Wednesday or Thursday or Tuesday or Wednesday next week, some of you may be waiting on your financial aid and all that stuff to come back. And let me turn the light off. Yeah, that kind of works. Some of you, like I said, may be waiting on money. Some of you may be not waiting on money. I don't know what you're waiting on. But there is a 12-day trial period. Okay? When you go to Mylabs Plus, there's going to be a window. And that window is going to say access code. And then you got a window to type it in. Then it's going to say, and below the access code, it's going to say 17-day or 14-day trial period. Okay? That's for people who are waiting on money to hit the bank. Now, I have to go through this. Some of y'all are dual enrollment students, and you don't have any idea what I'm talking about. All right? But there are some Tri-County students in here that are waiting on financial aid to come back. Some of you have a part-time job, and you're paying your own way, and you got to wait for your paycheck to come in so you can pay for the access code. Whatever the reason, use that 12 or 14-day period very wisely. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, we're not going to start math until when? Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, whatever day y'all come to class. All right? So, there is no need for you to be on Mylabs Plus until I actually start telling you to start doing homework. All right? So, you don't need to get on Mylabs Plus if you're going to use the 14-day trial period. If not, then I'm not talking to you. I'm only talking to the people that have the access code or want to buy the access code online. If you have the access code, it comes with the book, as I told you the other day. All right? There's a scratch-off or a pull-off. I don't know which one it is. The books that I've seen this semester, it's like a lottery ticket. You scratch it off. Please do not scratch it off with a knife. You're going to scratch the numbers off. Do it gently, okay? Keep the UPC code or the thing on the back, whatever it's called, just in case. Put it in your notebook. If you have to call technical support and the number's rubbed off, then you can use that UPC code on the back to tell them so they can give you what the access code is that you rubbed off. Do not throw it away if you can't get in. All right? Now, the last one is buy access code. And if you buy the access code, then it's going to redirect you to another screen where you type in your debit card or your credit card, and then it will send you directly into the registration process. Okay, so that's it. There's the 3 options that you have. Now, like I said, the access code comes with the book, or you can buy it in the bookstore. You have a 14-day trial period. I would not start that until the actual math starts, and then buy an access code. Once you've decided which one of those you're going to do, it's going to send you through the registration process. Okay? Now, there is a link to Mylabs Plus. Let me go ahead and explain this because somebody will screw it up. There is a link to Mylabs Plus, and it is on Blackboard if it's working. So, let me pull it up. And I don't know my password. Y'all are 120, right? 120. I think that's no. Okay, where is it? What section are y'all? Do y'all know what section you are? There it is.
Priority one message.
Okay.
Priority one message.
There is the.
Secured channel.
I hate when people write a
Priority
book.
one message
Good
coming
gracious
in on
alive.
secure- Priority one
Really?
message coming in on secured channel.
If you're going to send a text that lasts like 4 screens, why don't you just send an email? Good gracious. Huh?
Or just call.
Yeah.
Say it.
Okay. I'm just kidding. I don't know they don't know who sent it, but anyway. Maybe I'm fired. All right. There's the bridge right there. You hit that first, and then you click on this, and it'll take you to Mylabs Plus, if Blackboard is working correctly. Capiche? Or you can go to www, and make sure you write this down right, because somebody will screw it up, and you'll go to Mylabs Plus, and it's going to ask you for a course ID, and then you're going to call me and say, I need a course ID, and I'm not going to respond because you didn't read directions. I didn't tell you to go to Mylabs Plus. I told you to go to tctc.mylabsplus.com. So make sure you get that right. Okay, any questions on that? All right, once you get there, it's going to look like this. Okay? It's going to look, pretty much a dashboard type. I don't know how many of you have even been exposed to this type of software or program or website. Some of you may have at your high school, and that's fine. But I'm not going to go by and ask for a survey of who's done what. So I'm just going to assume that some of y'all have never done something like this. Okay? I don't know. But there's only 3 or 4 things you need to worry about over here. One is the calendar. Now I'm going to go in. Hold on just a second. I was going to plan to do this before classes, but you know how that goes. Okay, assignment manager. I'm going to go ahead and assign something. Probably cause some of y'all to go into spastics, but oh my God, something's due. It's only going to be due for an hour. Somebody will come up to me after class. Didn't I say something about a test? Is it due tomorrow? There we go. Test. Yeah, 1 and 3. Okay. I'm looking, thinking as I go, so just bear with me. Okay, and then I want to go in here and test, and we'll go ahead and edit so y'all can see it. That's that. Take these out. Remove. And these. Just bear with me. Oh my gosh, really? I can't believe y'all don't have any know-it-alls in your class. That just blows my mind. I think y'all lying to me. I think y'all have know-it-alls. You just don't want to talk. Y'all gonna talk in here. You will talk. All right.
The class gets worse if y'all don't talk.
Yeah, it does. It gets awful. Don't worry. I'll get them talking. I'll talk about something they like, and they won't shut up.
The first month of this class, last semester, no
Oh, it
one
was
talked
awful.
to you, and everyone, it was just dead silent and boring, and then we start talking, and
Yeah, it went faster, didn't it? The class went faster. But some of y'all have been conditioned. For 12 years, you've been told to what? Shut up. And now we just meet this wacky math teacher that tells you to talk. Just don't talk just don't talk when I'm talking. All right, so I'm gonna go up here. Oh, I didn't do the date. Let me do the test. Let's see. Settings for class. What's today? January the 11th. All right, somebody right now is starting to freak out because I'm assigning the test. Somebody in here is like freaking out. Oh my God, we got to test you. I haven't even done my homework.
Oh, it's due
You need to chill out, okay?
it's due last year.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's already due. Oh. Y'all know the student I'm talking about, don't you? It's just like, oh my God. Okay, you need to take some pills. All right, this class is over at 9:30, right?
9:25.
Yeah.
All
right.
It's that student that gets like the 97 and they're like, oh, I did so bad on the test.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and gets a 99.6.
And the rest of us are like, hate them, you know?
Yeah, the student that says, oh God, I did terrible. I failed that test. And then they come back with a 99.7. Yeah. I used to push those students over and, no, I'm just kidding. Okay, 10 o'clock. That way it'll freak people out. Oh my God, I got to do a test at 10 o'clock. I got class. All right, now I'm ready to show you. Now, when you go to the main menu now, watch the calendar. It'll have something on the 11th. All right, the little piece of paper means that you need to worry about it. Okay, that means that something has been assigned. This clock means deadline, means time to turn it in. So you may see it on the 11th, but the clock may show up on the 18th. That means it's due on the 18th. So if you get in here and you go to your main course, you click on the course, this is going to come up, and you see a bunch of stuff on here, then you need to worry about it. Right now, you don't see anything except for this, and that one person is going to go crazy. All right, especially if they just walk in. All right, homework. What is homework? Well, that's self-explanatory. Quizzes and tests. When you hit quizzes and tests, you're going to see that test. There it is, right there. Now, let me explain to you what these are. These are generic practice tests. Does everybody know what generic and practice means? Okay, generic means they're there no matter who's teaching the course. Okay, they come with the book. They come with the website. They come for you to practice. They come for you to see what the format of the test is like before you take my test. They're there because of practice. All right, so they don't count for anything. They don't hurt you. They don't help you. They only help you in a sense that they give you extra exposure and extra practice, just like homework and just like study plan. So just ignore these unless you're going to use them for practice. Capiche? The only ones that you need to worry about are the ones that are with or around or contain Hubert's name. Okay? If it says Hubert and there's a test after it that says Unit 2 and there's a test after it that says Hubert's Unit 3, then you need to worry about those three tests. Okay? If all of them have Hubert on it, you need to worry about them. If they are around my name, you need to worry about it. My name is not going to be down here. Okay? This is sample stuff. All the original tests that I put on here, that I upload, will be above this sample test and quizzes banner. Okay? They'll be up here. All right? We'll go back to the test after we do some homework problems. The next one, okay? So I want everybody to get their notebooks out right now, and I want you to write down these 3 or 4 buttons. Now, the reason I'm asking you to do this is because somebody will text me this week or next week, and they will say, I can't find your homework on banner, or whatever, what's it called? Blackboard. That's why I have to go over all this, because there'll be 1 or 2 of y'all that will email me next week when you come down from your high or whatever, and you'll say, I can't find anything in your class from Blackboard. And you'll email me about 6 times. Why? Because you won't get a reply from me. And then you'll email my boss. And then she'll pretty much laugh at your email and call you back and email you back and said, look at your handouts. Because she knows how I do things. All right? So that's not going to do you any good. You can if you want to, but she's going to reply and she's going to say, you need to check your handouts. Because every one of my handouts goes through her before it goes to y'all. So she sees that I tell you what to do, or I show you what to do. And she knows what I do in class because she sat in my class before. All right? So good luck with that. If I don't reply to you, or if I don't call you back, that doesn't mean I don't like you. It means 2 things. 1, I don't like you. No, I'm kidding. 1 is I've covered the material in the handouts. And 2, it'll wait until next time we meet. If I respond to you, then that means that I needed to respond to you, because excluding those 2 things. So if you reply to me hemming out about a test and freaking out because your laptop got hit by lightning and you ran over it and all this stuff and couldn't go downstairs in the lab and do it, or you couldn't, whatever. Don't freak out. If it's something that I don't consider to be important, I'll just take care of it. See me after class the next time we meet. Okay? If you don't get a reply and you think it's important, then that means you already know the answer. You just got to read. Okay? All right. So let's go down to grade book. Now, what the heck do you think the word grade book is for?
Your grade.
I have gotten in the past 5 emails per semester at the end of the semester before I started putting bonus questions on. How do we know our grade? Now, I don't mean to sound harsh, but some of y'all, not y'all in here, but just students, 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Sometimes it's as simple as that. Hit the grade book. I just don't understand the thinking of some of these people. I really don't. All right? And it's all about how much you actually read. And it is. People don't read. And I'm one of the worst ones, okay? But people don't read. They don't go down. They just hit homework and quizzes and tests. They don't even look below it. They don't even see that grade book. So that's why I have to go through and say, hit the grade book key. When you hit the grade book key, there's two things I want you to write down in your notes, okay? 1, show calculation. Now, I shouldn't have to tell you what that means, but it means how is Mylabs Plus figuring my grade? And that's how. Okay? Now, I'm going to change the weights because, and it shows the weighted average right here. You can click on that, and it'll show you what's what. But I hadn't said it yet, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay? The other thing I want you to write down is at the top. What's that say? Well, it says hide. There we go. Show overall grade. Now, this is what you use at the end of the semester to determine what you have made. And it'll give you a numerical grade. I round up if you've got a 0.5 or greater. All right? So if you got an 87.5, you've got an 88 for the semester, which is a B. If you've got an 89.5, you've got a 90, which is a A. All right? So when you click on that, it's going to show your overall grade, and then it'll be right there in that circle. And then it'll say show calculation, like that, and you click on that. Now, down here, they're going to be your assignments that you've done. And over here, you can actually review and print it out. It's going to say it over here. After we do the test, you'll see it. Okay, so that is your third most important. First is homework. Second is quizzes and tests. Third is grade book. Your fourth one, write this one down, is chapter contents. Chapter contents is for you to find a video, for you to print out the book, and that's why I told you to wait before you open the book or bought a book for today, because I'll show you how to print out the book. So, I think we start with chapter 3 or 1, right? I'm going to go to chapter 3 because it's the math. It's where you actually start the math. And 3.1, click on a section. That's where the outline comes out. You can go ahead and print out because I'm going to cover what's on that outline. The most important page I told you to put in your notebook, that's what you go by. So in chapter 1, if I go through 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, then that's all you need to print out for chapter 1. You don't need to print out all chapter 1 because the outline only tells you I'm going through 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3. You use that outline to print out your book. You hit e-text. And if you have a book, if you turn to, if you turn to page 111, it'll look just like this. You go up here, hit the print button, and you can print out that whole section. Now you have to print out a page at a time, okay? But put some three holes in it and put it in your notebook, run it off with the outline, and you have all you need for the book. So you do not have to buy a book. You can share a book. You can steal a book. You can use an old book. I don't care what you use inside the classroom. Yes, sir.
Can you show how you did that again?
Can I do what?
Can you show how you did that again?
Oh, yeah. If I can get out of it. There we go. 3.1, chapter contents, e-text, and then it'll go through its thing. And then up here in the top right-hand corner, print. And it'll print one page at a time. Now, most of the lessons are less than 10 pages. Okay? I think all of them are.
I think you can select a number, it'll print all of them.
Okay, you might can hit 10 and it'll print all of them.
Because it's just starting with the current page.
Okay, all right, okay.
Oh,
Well, I don't know. You have to play with it.
that's what it is.
So that's how you can print out your book. So that's why I tell students not to buy a book and not to open a book until you've seen your instructor. Because as far as I'm concerned, I don't really care what you bring to class as far as a book. You can bring a printed book, or you can bring the a la carte that you get in the plastic binding. You can bring an old book. I don't care. So that might save you 30, 40 bucks if you just buy the access code. Capiche? All right, that's how you print out the book. What is, no yawning in class. What is, that's a joke. I have to tell people when it's a joke because some of y'all don't have a sense of humor. Study plan. All right, write this down. When you see the study plan, that means extra problems. No credit. Now, there are some people that actually go above and beyond regular work to what's called excelling. Okay, there are some people that do extra work that excel. And those are the people that do these type problems. After your homework is done for 3.1, if there's one of the problems that you don't like, that you want to go over and smooth it out a little bit and make sure you know it, you either can hit similar problem and do that problem over and over in your homework, or you can go here and find a problem like it. And how do you do that? Well, each time you hover over a homework problem or a study problem, homework problem, it's going to tell you what number it is in the book. Like number 1, number 3, number 4, and that match up with these. Okay? So when we go to the homework, I'll show you how to do this. And this is, like I say, it's for these people that, that push themselves and do extra work when needed. So I'm going to go to 3.1. And I'm going to hover over one of these. Now you see that 3.1.3? Now go to study plan. 3.1. That problem that you just hovered, I'm sorry, I went to the wrong study plan. I thought I went to chapter contents. Sorry, I didn't. Chapter contents, 3.1. There we go. And there it is, 3.1.3. You got it? So the study plan is the problems out of the book pretty much. They're numbered just like the problems in the book. All right? And then the homework, your number 3 may be number 6 on here or whatever. So that's how you use the study plan. As far as I'm concerned, it's for people that want to, instead of a B, make an A. Or instead of a C, make a B. That's the ones that use the study plan. Okay? All right, so what else is on chapter contents? Well, the video. If you're a visual learner, but that's going to be in the homework also. You're going to see that in just a minute. So now let's go to the homework. And let's look at what a sample problem looks like. 3.1. The reason I'm picking 3.1 is because chapter 3 is the math in Unit 1. Chapter 1 and 2 is just vocabulary words, terminology. There might be a little bit of basic math in there somewhere, but I think it's fractions, decimals, and percents. But other than that, 90% of chapter 1 and 2 is reading. So that's why I'm asking y'all to read it. The first thing somebody's going to ask is, well, what about the homework? Well, if you want to do the homework, that's fine. Okay? Is there any due dates on the homework right now? No, so you don't have to worry about it. But next Wednesday or Tuesday, what day is today? Okay, next Tuesday, I'm terrible with days and dates, I'm sorry. The next Tuesday, I'll be starting chapter 1 and 2. I'm going to go through, I'm going to highlight the things on the board the words that you need to be, that you need to be worried about for testing. All right. Once I cover it, that's when you need to do the what? The homework. Okay. Now, then you send me, and I'll show you just here in a minute, you're going to send me the questions that you don't understand. I'm going to go over it in class. And then after I do that, I'm going to go to 3.2. We'll get to that in just a minute. Okay. So I'm going to click on 3. And I'm going to click on, let me just go until I see one I like. Let me go to 3.2. I'm trying to find a certain type problem. Just give me a second. 3.2. Okay, somebody's turned off the... Some of these teachers need a life. Okay, an insurance company, blah, blah, blah. I don't care what the problem says. But up in here is called question help. Now, this is why I use... A lot of people ask me, when I was bringing this on board in 1998, 97, and I was asking students to push in a disk. I only had like 3 computers in the classroom, and I was... they had to push in a disk for Chapter 5. Chapter 6, they had to pull in a disk. I mean, that was a long time ago. People would ask me, why are you doing this? All right? And the reason I did it is because back then, this button only had like 2 of those subtitles. And it was help me solve this in a video. The video didn't play half the time because it was on the disk. So it would look like, it would look like you started it, and then it'd talk for 3 seconds, and then it'd quit. All right? But the whole point was I knew where this was going. And the help me solve this and the ask my instructor is kind of what, it wasn't ask my instructor back then, it was just print. Okay? It was what I needed for students to give me feedback, and that help me solve this was to help them when they took the disc home, because it came with the book, the disc came with the book. They would take that disc home and they could use that help me solve this to try to figure out how to do it at home. Okay? Because all of you have been in a math situation when you've been at homework, doing homework, and you got 10 problems to do and you can't get past number 2. When you can't get past number 2 is when you use these little do-jiggers here. All right? They're different learning styles. Learning style is a keyword for educators. All right? Some people are visual learners. I'm a visual learner. Most guys are visual learners. Christmas comes, they put together the bicycle. The wife or girlfriend goes, what's all these parts for? Oh, they're spare parts. Meanwhile, Johnny's in the ditch because the wheel fell off the front of the bike. And he's in the ditch having convulsions. All right? You laugh, but how many of you been on a trip with your family before GPS and the dad knows how to get there and y'all go around in circles? Okay? That happens because the guy is the visual learner. He ain't going to read directions. All right? Not most guys. They don't. I do the best I can, but I use GPS now because I don't like to get lost because I always end up in L.A., Lower Anderson. No matter where I go. If I go to Atlanta or Wichita, Kansas, I'm going to end up, if I don't get directions, I'm going to end up where all the robberies are. That's where I'm going to end up. Okay? I don't know why I do that, but I must gravitate to bad activity or bad behavior, one of the two. But I always end up on the south side of the tracks or the wrong side of the tracks or whichever tracks is bad. That's where I end up if I get lost. So I'm one of those that do like directions. But when it comes to putting something together, I like to look at the box. Okay? I like to look at the front of the box and see what it looks like. And then I have the spare parts left over. But anyway, some of y'all like to read. Some of y'all can read War and Peace in 2 days. All right? I can't read the funny paper without falling asleep. So I don't use the textbook. Okay, I don't use that. Some of you like animation. Now, animation and video is the same thing, except one, there's a person, usually a math geek, standing in front of a board. And then the other one is the computer graphics sliding in, popping in, going out, and the voice talking. So that's the difference. So animation and video is about the same thing. But what has helped me solve this? That was the original thing on here back in the disk days. To help me solve this is a guided tutorial. What is a guided tutorial? If you ever had somebody in a tutor setting, you asked them how to do an algebra problem, 2x plus 3 is equal to 7, and they ask you 15 questions while they're showing you how to do it. What do I do with this 3? It's a plus 3. How do I get rid of that plus 3? And you sit there and go, I guess you subtract it. Yes, you subtract it. If you subtract it on one side, then what? And you got to say, you subtract it on the other. Anybody ever had a tutor like that? That's called a guided tutorial. In the classroom, it's called a guided lecture. Okay? That means that I'm going to ask you questions to see if you know anything. All right? Versus, and I'll go ahead and show you. See, the first thing it's going to do is tell you something, and then it's going to ask you something. See? But that's not the answer. That's part of the answer. It's going to ask you questions. Now, who does this? The person that has never seen the material before. Say like you're a person, and I know most of you, 90% of y'all, have seen probability and statistics, because it's a watered down, it's a math class that pretty much everybody can what? Pass. So what does the high schools do? They put you in there because you can pass it. They don't put you in Calc 1 and Calc 2. Okay, because that requires a little bit of work. Okay, so they put you in that dadgum Math 120. You're going to be great. You're going to make A's at that Math 120. So I know most of you have had Math 120 or probability and statistics. But there may be that one person that has never had probability and statistics, whether they are a person that's took Algebra 1, Geometry, and then Algebra 2, and now the counselor has put them in Math 120 or whatever. There may be that one person. And then there's the person, and at Tri-County and other colleges, you do have colleges, non-traditional students, that haven't taken a math class in 2,500 years. That's what they think. All right? And it's only been like 6 months since they've been in high school. But they tell you, oh, God, I ain't been in. Shut up. All right? But some people have never seen the material before. And if you've never seen the material before, you may need this reinforcement. Okay? Versus the person that says, I don't want to, just show me how to do it. Well, that's the person that is just impatient or has seen it before and they just need to be refreshed. Okay, like somebody that had probability and statistics 2 semesters ago or last semester or whatever the case may be. All right? So that's the difference between those two tutorials. Now, if you've never seen this before, you need to write this stuff down. Guided is help me solve this. That's where it asks questions. So you just put ask question mark. And then help me solve this, show me how to do it. No question. So you put no and then question mark and put X through it. Or put X through question mark. Whatever you want to do. But you need to know the difference between the two because then you're going to get mad because you forget which one's which. So you need to write it down. Video and animation. I'm just going to show you a little bit. And
the data in the table represents
there it is.
First exam scores.
They took the teachers out because sometimes the teachers are distracting and that's in a bad way. Okay? Sometimes they're just better that they don't show the teachers. All right? So that's that.
Of Sam, Ham, Bilal,
and some of them put you to sleep just saying hello. This guy will put you to sleep.
I was going to ask if this is like the kind of video that you want to shoot or something.
Yeah, that you have to watch. Animation is a whole lot better because sometimes,
sometimes it's not even an animation.
Yep, there's somewhere down here. I don't know why it's not showing up. It's supposed to have a play button or something. You suck. All right, well, I don't know why it's not doing it. It's supposed to have a play button and it's supposed to do something. Okay, something's screwed up.
Maybe it's supposed to.
It's the damn Russians, is what it is.
Maybe it's a flash.
Russia.
Might be Internet Explorer.
Just remember, whenever something don't go your way, or you don't want to take blame for something, you just blame Russia. All right, textbook. This is for the people, you're doing the homework, you're doing it at work, or you're doing it wherever. I don't know where you're going to do it. Hold on just a second. And it will not come up either. So something's wrong with Internet Explorer, evidently, because it came up yesterday. I was showing this yesterday, and it came up fine So I don't know what's going on. The book will come up just like it came up a while ago, so I'm not going to worry about it because we got to go through. I got to show you the important stuff. StatCrunch is a glorified spreadsheet. I use Excel. You can use whichever one you want to, and I'll show you how to do that when we get there. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Tech Help, that's a little bit how to use your calculator, which some of y'all are on the calculator drill team in high school. Your teacher has banged that calculator and beat it upside your head so much that you can't even make change at the cash register. All right, if you're one of those people, you need to get off that calculator, okay? You need to get off of it because you're going to grow up to be stupid. And I hate to say that, but have you seen these people that can't make change at a cash register and they're in charge of a cash register? Think about that. It makes no sense. That's like putting somebody that can't because they don't know anything about guns, selling guns at Grady's. You don't do that. That's awful.
You think that's why they don't take hundreds at drive-throughs?
Pretty much.
Too stupid to do the change.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, print. Now, I don't have to say this for this class because most of y'all will do it on the computer. But there may be, what was your question? I'm sorry.
Who are you supposed to blame if you're part Russian?
If you're part Russian, blame Bush. Blame Bush. All right. Thank you. Are you part Russian? Where are you from?
My dad's Russian. My mom's Ukrainian.
Okay, well, that's great. We have a lot of Ukrainians that come to South Carolina. I don't know why.
Being a part of Russia, they assume Ukraine is Russia.
But we're not going to trust you now. But if anything happens in this classroom, you're going to get blamed for it. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So I'm glad you got a sense of humor about it. I'm glad you're not coming up to me and saying I'm offended.
Last semester it was slack.
Huh?
Last semester it was slack.
Yeah, it was.
Everything.
Anyway, this is print homework assignment. Most of you won't use this, but some of you will. Now I'm only talking about, okay, some of y'all, I don't know what type of students I have in here, okay? But do you know the student, and there's nothing wrong with this, that brings their homework and brings it in and marks their homework with the way the teacher does it and makes little notes beside their homework? There are students that do that. That's where this comes in handy. You can print out the whole homework assignment right here. Nobody uses the print one question only because the Ask My Instructor it does away with that. But you can, I'll show. Print the question only would be like if you're downstairs and you want me to do a problem and I'm in my office or I'm in here and I don't have class, you would print it and bring it to me. And that's why, because I will not do a problem written down. Why? My first semester, and I'm just going to tell a quick story. My first semester, I was in a classroom with like 35 students. I never had taught, except, coming out of Clemson, except for student teaching and stuff like that. And I had some bubbas in the back that didn't know what day it was. So there were people in the room that didn't pay attention, all right? So I'm doing, and this is about 3 or 4 weeks into the semester, we're doing some algebra. It was like an Algebra 3 class. And we were doing some complicated factoring, nesting factoring. And the student said, I have done this problem 5 times and I cannot get the answer in the back of the book. Either the answer in the back of the book's wrong or I'm doing something wrong 5 or 6 times. So she gave me her homework problem. And it was written down because we didn't have much of this printing out back then. And I wrote the problem down. I did that problem for 1.5 hours. I did it 6 times on the board. All the bubbas that didn't know, they don't even do it. They're, yeah, man, you don't even know what you're doing. Shut up, you leave. Anyway, first semester, it was horrible. I did that problem another 3 times after class was over, and I still could not get the answer. Do you know what the problem was? She wrote the problem down wrong. That's why she couldn't get the answer in the back of the book. She had x to the 8th minus y, or plus y to the 8th. Or not, it was something with a minus, okay? And the minus was supposed to be a plus, or a plus was supposed to be a minus. I worked that problem 7 or 8 times in front of a classroom, but I was inexperienced, so I didn't know. And I was doing the problem right, except I wasn't getting the answer that she was getting because I was basically doing another problem. So that's why I will not do a problem written down by paper. I know you're probably trustworthy, except for you. I know you're probably trustworthy, but I know people make mistakes when they write them down. Okay? So, print homework assignment. Students that are very concerned about note-taking and about their homework, they're very concerned. I'm talking about A students, very high A students. They use this. They print it out. They bring it to class. As I do a problem, they do the problem out beside it. And then they do the homework, a conventional, do it in their notebook. Then they go back to the computer and type in their answers. That's one way you can do it. Another way you can do it is to just use it for note taking. And whenever I do a problem, you circle that problem and say, he did this in the class, and put it out beside it. Some of you may do that. That's up to you. Okay? That's how you print out your homework. Now, the one that I'm going to focus on right here is Ask My Instructor. Now, the reason I have to, and I want you to write a note about this. This is the way I want you to send me questions. All right? The reason I want you to use this is because this is basically the same thing as you raising your hand and me going over a question for you in class. All right? Some people don't like to use it. Some people don't like to raise their hand. All right? Because they look like a fool. Or they don't want to ask a question because they think it's a stupid question. There is no stupid question unless one I've already covered or one that you don't know. Okay? Okay? There is no stupid question when 1, you haven't been told, 2, you don't know, or 3, you're confused. Now, if I've told you the material, if you've got it on your handouts, that's a stupid question. But if you don't know the material, if you're confused, if you haven't been shown, then that is not a stupid question. All right? So what you do is you use this, and this is primarily when you can't get the answer and you've done everything else. You click on this, and it's 2 clicks of a mouse. Some of y'all, I know, you can't get past the first click because it's so hard. But put a note in here if you want to. If you were a good teacher, I would not have questions. Okay, I'm doing this for a reason. You suck. All right? And you send me that. Now, I did that for a reason, and you'll see why. Because I don't want you to think I sent it like 2 or 3 days ago. All right? I go over to my email, the next class, before the next class, or the night before the next class, and I go to my email. And again, I don't know how many of you have seen this before. Some teachers actually cut this off. And I don't understand that. I don't understand that at all. This is what I base my class on. And if I remember my password correctly, go to my email. And I have folders, and I haven't cleaned them out, so you're going to see last semester's.
You missed out on Bitcoin.
There it is. And there it is. How did I know that's the one I sent a few seconds ago? If you were a good teacher, I would not have a question. You suck. That's the one I just sent. So it sends it in a matter of seconds to me. I put it in a folder, or it automatically puts it in a folder here, and boom, there it is. Okay? Click on it, and there it is. Now, how do I use this? Well, I use this just like office hours, except I put my office hours the first 30 minutes of class. If you send me 10 questions, I'm going to go over every 10 questions. If you send me nothing, then I'm going to assume what? That you know it. Now, when is the perfect time for you to send me questions? Well, let's say Tuesday we go over 3.1. Of course, we're not. We're going to go over chapter 1 and 2. But I'm using 3.1 because it's math. All right? We go over 3.1. Then that means you got 2 days to pretty much do homework. Tuesday and what? Wednesday, because you come to class Thursday. Thursday, you should have that homework completed, except for the problems that you don't have questions on. All right? Now, the double-edged sword here is, yeah, you can put it off. Yeah, but if you put it off, the way I do things is when I finish 3.5, or whatever section we're supposed to go to, I finish 3.5, I'm going to give you 1 more day to turn in questions for 3.5. Then I'm going to do the test in the class, I'm going to show it to you online, and it's going to be due. Homework's going to cut off. So if you have questions on homework and you've put it off until 3.5 day, how are you going to ask questions? You can't. So if you put off your homework in my class, it's going to bite you. Okay, it's going to bite you because you're not going to be able to use the feature of office hours in class. Do you understand? Now, again, I'm preaching to the choir because 90% of you probably do your homework like you're supposed to. Again, you're taking a dual enrollment class, you're probably good students. Okay, so I'm only talking to 10 or 20% of the class that are just pure T, lazy, or procrastination. What's procrastination? Putting it off to the last minute. And you know what I found? I found that the hammies, the ones that worry about the dates, are the ones that procrastinate the worst because they worry about the dates. The ones that don't worry about the dates are the ones that do their homework every day. I found that out. Okay, question about this. This is what I want you to use. And I don't want to hear these two things. These are the two things that I can't stand to hear. Oh, I've already done that question. You don't need to go over it. Well, the reason I don't want to hear that is because if you sent that question in, chances are what? Somebody else has sent it in. So somebody else wants to see it too. So I'm still going to do it. The other one is, that's a dumb question, just delete it. There are no dumb questions when it comes to math material and you being exposed to it and not being exposed to it. Okay, there's no dumb questions there. All right? So I want everybody to feel comfortable using this. Question, gripe, complaint. All right, now let's look at the handy dandy test. Mrs. Ugg, where are you? Are you, who's your dad? Paul? Okay, I'm sorry. Paul's a good friend. Don't anything he tells you is not true. Okay? He's a good guy. What was your question on textbook? What's your question?
I asked about which textbook would be the best to buy, and I got it.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay, good. All right. How's your sister doing? Has she graduated yet?
Not yet.
She's a loser. I think she took my calculus class, didn't she?
More than likely.
Yeah.
She told me that she didn't like it.
Okay, well, tell her that I'm going to go live in a ditch now. I'm going to go get me a box. I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to live in a ditch because life's not worth living now. Tell her I said that. All right.
Student like send you a text calling you an ass.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I had one student do that. It was a bad day. You know, you have bad days, right? Well, one day I had a bad day, bad morning. It was just a bad morning. I think I had a fight with everybody I came in contact with. My son, my mother, my daughter. I think she called and I got in a fuss with her. It was just a bad day. And I was teaching a calculus class, and it was in here. And one of my students sat right there. She sat there every day. Her name was Faith, and she's on my Facebook. She's already gone, and kids and everything. She's doing good. And she was having a bad day. All right, she was having a bad morning, and I was covering a problem, and the problem took that board and like two other boards behind it. You know, on the whiteboard thing, the software. It's three whiteboards worth. And she was asking a question about the basic at the front. At the front, there was one little basic rule that we did was to get the problem started. And product rule, quotient rule, or whatever the case may be. And she was confused, and she asked the question, and it didn't hit me wrong. It's just the way it came out. I basically said, the tone of my voice or the way I said it was basically, you're stupid. All right? It was one of those condescending, and I didn't mean it like that. But then she had a bad morning, and she said, well, you're just being an asshole. And I was like, I didn't know I was being an asshole. And that kind of straightened me up that morning because, you know, I'm good about critiquing, but I don't want to come off like that, okay? But some days people have bad days, okay? And that was a bad morning. But I have no idea why I did that. I have no idea. It wasn't like she had done taking algebra, math. What is it called here? 110, 111, and she was in 141. She had done taking Calc 1, and she was in the Calc 2 class. And she had been with me through all those classes. I don't think I bit her head off. I think it was just a bad day. And she said, well, you don't have to be an asshole about it. And I was like, dang. But anyway, there's been times that your sister probably called me that too. I don't know. But I can take it. If you call me a name, I can take it if I deserve it, okay? And I don't know if I deserve that or not, but anyway, I had a bad morning, and she apologized the next day, and I did too, because I didn't want to come off like that. But anyway, I told you I chase rabbits, right? Okay, I do. I chase rabbits every now and then. All right. Any questions on homework?
You gotta look into that Bitcoin right there, man.
I ain't going into Bitcoin. I'm scared to death of that.
Get a message at Cisco.
All right, let's look at the test.
Imagine what the next 50 years are gonna be like with all the people that got rich off that.
Well, I look at it this way. Sometimes initiative is good, but there's a fine line between initiative and greed. And people that are greedy, they go into the wrong things. Remember the thing around here where everybody lost their money? What was that a while back? Well, it was something up in Seneca or somewhere up in there was this brokerage company that took everybody's money, and they lost a lot of money. Everybody lost a lot of money, and it was real bad.
Only criminals use Bitcoin.
Okay, I'm going to show you this right quick for those that are packing up. What time's class over?
9:30.
No, it says 9:20 right here.
9:25.
Okay, 5 minutes. So you don't need to pack up yet. Go to test, and I'm just going to show you this one thing. When you pull up the test, okay, there's something definitely wrong here.
Maybe you can get to it from the calendar.
No, it said there's a problem. Okay, there we go. You will see questions. It's going to tell you the due date and all that, and I didn't have time to cover it. But there's a bonus question. If you have incomplete assignments at the end of the semester, and Hubert puts a 0 in for the grade, what will that 0 do to your grade? Now, a lot of you say, this guy is crazy. This is what I get at the end of the semester. Why has my grade gone down? Well, did you do all your homework? No. Did you miss any tests? Yeah, I missed one test. Well, what do you think your grade's going to do? Okay, there's a question. These come from handouts, first and second day of class, and syllabus. All right? There's about half and half. Half math questions, half bonuses. Everybody should make a 40 or a 50 on my test. You should make the minimum of a 40 or 50 in my class. Do I have people make less than that? So you see what kind of people I'm having to deal with? All right. Do y'all get this? What's the answer? There's only one possible answer.
Only one of them has a phone number.
The only one that has a phone number.
1-800, I'm losing.
Math question. If you look at your overall grade one day and it has decreased from several days ago, what has happened?
Oh, D, he's here, dude.
Hubert and Russia have conspired against you. If you take several forms of a test in Hubert's class, how is it counted? He takes the highest and drops the lowest. When does homework terminate? There's only one answer. Now, each one of these, there's 15 questions. There's 15 bonus questions. They're on each test. You take each test, there's 4 unit tests. So you're going to get 4 of these questions, and they're the same questions every single test. I will still have somebody come up to me and ask me when the last day of finals was, or when the last day of the class. And that's a question. Okay? So make sure you go through the syllabus and you find these answers, okay? Because I don't want you to make below a 50 on the test and be one of those people we make fun of in the future. All right. Now you can start packing up. See, I got 2 minutes. Now you can start packing up. For those 3 or 4 students in here that was rude and started packing up about 5 minutes ago. All right, what's the day? Tuesday and Thursday?
Yes.
All right, this is the handout. I mean, not the handout, the roll, just for the first 2 weeks. I want you to pass it around, and I want you to sign it with your initials. If your name is not on here, see me after class. I think everybody's here last time. I'll make sure I didn't have any. No. When you sign this, you're welcome to leave quietly and don't be banging around or anything. Just sign it and you can leave, okay? If you got questions, come on up.
You said,
Miss Zug, you're gonna fail.
you said,
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
is it promise that's not easy to
Yes,
find?
ma'am.
Quick question.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I've been trying to do this, and I like looked up how to do it and everything, but my computer like doesn't have what it's asking me to do, and I don't know how